In the book, you tell people to make a list of everything working against them, every real, valid excuse.
Right.
Why do you have them do that?
There's a lot of power in that list. So in that list of who you are, what makes you f***ed up, all these other things, it goes back to, once again, accepting. You have to first accept it before you can fix it. A lot of people walk around, oh man, I'm good. I'm good. No, you're not. You have to accept what you're not. You have to, and people don't want to do that. And that's the only way you can fix it. You have to accept it first before you can go on the journey. A lot of folks never even start the journey, man. They never start the journey because they live in this fake life that who they want to be, they act like they are, but they're not because they haven't fixed all this stuff yet. You got to fix this first before we can start our journey in life. So that's why I have them make this list. You fix these problems, now your journey can begin because you no longer care about how people are judging you. When you care more about how someone's judging you, you're gonna stay right there. There's no forward momentum. So that's the whole thing about that list.
I understand that you lost some friends in Operation Red Wings. What did that feel like to you?
Being that I was in 3 Hell Weeks, I knew a lot of the guys. I knew every guy that died on the operation. So the story touched me so much, I wanted to find a way to raise money for their families. So I found the Special Operations Warrior Foundation. If you're a special operator and you die, it will give 100% tuition to your son or daughter to go to college. Great foundation. So now I gotta find something to do to raise money for it. So I started Googling all these different races. I found the Badwater 135. So it's a 135-mile run through Death Valley in the summertime. Had no idea about ultra running. I'm 250 pounds, I'm a big meathead. So here I am, calling the guy up on Wednesday. He goes, hey, you got to qualify for this race. I go, how do you qualify? He says, you got to run 100 miles in 24 hours or less. And I'm like, is that even possible? I haven't run over 20 miles the whole year. Going through BUDS, I started realizing that you have to learn to control your mind in these situations. So at mile 70, when I was in the worst shape of my entire life, I was able to draw on being calm. I was able to finish the race. I was a fat guy trying to be a Navy SEAL now, and my life had come to this crossroads where I'm like, man, you have to go right. And no one was going right. Everybody was going left. I'm like, you have to go right. And to know the pain and suffering I was about to endure by going right, the amount of accountability and failure I was going to witness and suffer by myself alone on this journey, it was daunting. So when I finally got to the ASVAB test, and I was taking it for my very last time to get into the SEAL teams or to try to even try out, they weren't supposed to tell me my score. And I went back out to my car after I took it. I was on some computer test, and I didn't know how to use computer. I was wigging out about that because the first time I took it was like some like notebook. You know, you open a Scantron and you bubble it in with the #2 pencil and you turn it in. I saw a computer and I was like, oh, what is? Oh my God! I'm like, it's on the computer, so I wigged out there, and I had to get a 50 on mechanical comprehension. And
this was like the 3rd time you'd taken the test, right?
This is my 2nd time. So I took it 3 times for the Air Force and twice for the Navy. So this is my 2nd time for the Navy. And they're like, hey, this is it, man. You know, you're done. You're too old. You have a limited amount of time to lose 106 pounds, and you have to take this ASVAB again. There's so many things that's crunching down my head. And so when I took the test, I knew I had a good enough score to get in the Navy, but to be a SEAL, I had to score high on mechanical comprehension, a 50. So the first time I got a 44 on mechanical comprehension. So I'm sitting there and I take the test and I hit send. Send meant it's out in outer space somewhere, but I knew it popped up at the administrator's desk. And he's not supposed to tell me shit. He tells you sit down, take your test, and you leave. I walked out, got in my car, or I was walking around the car, whatever, and I was like, I gotta go in and find out, man. So I went in, I literally sat there. Everybody's taking their test, and I'm begging this guy. And he's telling me, I can't tell you shit. It's against government, it's against rules, everything. Right. He opened it up, he goes, okay, man. He said, you got a 65. I said, no, man, I didn't know I got a mechanical comprehension. And he scrolled the page down, and it was exactly a 50. And I literally, like, what came through my body, because it's easy to talk about now to you, but no one knew the time and energy I put into getting that 50. I put everything on David Goggins to be a Navy SEAL. It's like going to the crap table with your last $1,000. And you say, you know what? I'm gonna put everything on this, on black. And hopefully I win. If not, I'm broke. I put my whole life, a guy that was scared of the water, a guy that could taught himself how to read and write, on being one of the hardest on the planet. Think about that. A guy that came from nothing. I put my whole life, and I'm gonna go out here and put everything on David Goggins to be a Navy SEAL. Not to go be a Boy Scout or some a Navy SEAL. And I look at that, and I did all this just to get the opportunity to succeed. That's what people don't understand, man. And people see the end result. I remember that guy saying, my God, man, I can't believe what I've just done. I put everything, ruin relationships, ruin this, ruin that, put everything on. In fact, I have to become someone in this world, or I'm no good for anybody.
I never thought in my wildest dreams I could be a Navy SEAL. It's until you open your mind, open-mindedness creates that. We all shut down our mind. Like for instance, when I broke the pull-up record, everybody around me who heard the pull-up record was 4,020 pull-ups. That's the first thing they did. Oh my God.
4,000 in 24 hours, or was
it's 4,020 pull-ups in a 24-hour period.
Yeah.
The first thing I did versus closing my mind to like, oh my God, that's crazy. I went and got a pen.
So how many is that every minute?
Exactly.
Every hour, every second.
Instead of taking life and making it out to be this grandiose thing, start breaking it down. Start breaking it down. And most of us, we live in a box. And we don't want to go outside that box at all, ever. Outside that box is all these possibilities of life. What we do is we shackle our mind. We are a prisoner in our own mind that this is all I can do. This is all I'm good at. And we take away the possibilities of you could be this, you could be that, you could be all these things. And I never thought at 300 pounds I could be Navy SEAL.
Wow.
So if my mind was shackled, me and you would never meet. There'd be no book.
Right.
There'd be no book. There'd be nothing. So what people understand is that they live for themselves, not knowing that you have the power within yourself to change millions of lives by facing life.
The reason why we go back to old habits is because our goals are too lofty. We're not achieving our goals fast enough. So what happens is, you know what? Oh man, we're very impatient nowadays. For me, it was good. I didn't have a phone. I was out of this world by myself. It was a race against David Goggins. It wasn't a race against, God, I'm gonna look good for this person or that person. It was me. I gotta change myself. So for me, if I lost 5 pounds in a week, I got a feeling, I allowed myself to feel proud of that. I didn't look at, I gotta lose 106 pounds. I'm like, man, I went from 297, now I'm 292. In 1 week, man, I'm killing it. We're not proud of ourselves for the small accomplishments. What we need is this monstrosity of the thing to happen and say, I did it. Nah, there's a process that you have to go through, and patience is the process. And if we don't have patience, after a week, I haven't lost 30 pounds, man, I'm done. I'm over it. So that's what I found out with people, man. They're not patient enough to realize and to enjoy the moment, not live in it, just enjoy it. There's no finish line in life, but enjoy that moment. Roger that, man, I lost 5. Let me go 10 next week. So that's the whole thing about it. That's how people lose it.
Get the opportunity to become a Navy SEAL, and then you end up going through buds 3 times. It's like,
yeah, Merry Christmas.
Insane,
I got lucky,
man.
Yeah, I was very fortunate to go through 3 times, and not in a sadistic way, in a life-changing, growing way. I found out so much about myself through going through that training 3 times, and I went through the hardest part of the training 3 times. You know, after the first, so first phase is the crucible, man. And that's where I was at for 3 times. I spent most of my time in buds in first phase.
In the hell week.
In the hell weeks. And being in that grind. And in that grind, I got time to examine myself. I call it the live autopsy. And also examine other people. Because I was really good about putting people way above me. Because because I was never nobody. So for me to be on the same stage as these great wannabe Navy SEALs and buzz trainers, like, my God, you guys are amazing. I actually got here with you all. Thank you so much for allowing me into play. But as I was there for so long, I got a really good chance to sit back, because now the cold water is just water now. It's no longer cold anymore. Your mind starts to change. They say get in the water, most people think about it. For you, it became my life. So I started learning that if you start to change your mindset versus it being like, oh my God, this sucks, I became a professional bud student. So I wasn't gonna leave until I graduated. So I started realizing, if this is my home, this is what I am, I had to always reset the bar. I had to reset my new norm. There always had to be a new norm. So one thing we don't do is we don't have a new norm. My new norm is you get up every morning at 4 o'clock and you suffer. This is your new norm. That became my new life. Most people want to get out of it. I said, no, this is your new life. This is who you are. Your new norm is you wake up and you suffer. And I started realizing, if that's my mentality, this shit ain't hard anymore.
Right.
Your new norm is you wake up, you get in the cold water, you get a beer till this done. Whenever they say you're out, you get out. So my new norm, so I do that now today. My new norm now is, if I'm doing a 200-mile run, your new norm now, man, is you are doing 200 miles.
The Roger that mentality.
That's it, man.
I don't live on the surface of anything. Surface is what got me where I was at. It got me from 175 pounds to 300 pounds. Telling everybody I'm good. I don't give a damn. I'm good. No, they're hollow words. A lot of us speak in hollow words. I used to speak in hollow words. I don't do it anymore. Everything that comes out of my mouth has substance. It's real. And we all have these feelings in our bodies, in our minds, in our souls. I act on mine. A lot of us who are afraid of something, we allow our minds to choose the path of least resistance, so we go a different route. I'm afraid of something, it's telling me you must conquer
this
that.
thing.
You must do that.
Yeah.
You have to go that way. And most of us don't understand that mentality. We go left and we wonder why we haven't fulfilled something in our lives. It's because we continue to take the journey that is mapped out. And how I look at it is I talk in life like a lot of us in life want to take the 4-lane highway that has road maps and all this other stuff on it, man. It tells you where to go, gas stations. The next 10 miles up, you can see a McDonald's or Cracker Barrel.
Yeah.
It's the easy route.
Okay.
Very few of us want to go to the right side.